Hello, Flosstube friends. I'm Nancy Joy Trower. I'm the Stitcher with the Laughing Face, and this is Flosstube number 45. Thanks so much for stopping by to see what I've been up to for the past 2 weeks. I'm so glad you're here. I so appreciate every single one of you who have subscribed and like and leave kind comments and watch, and just that you're part of my Stitchy circle. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and to have this community to be a bright spot is really wonderful. So thank you for being here. I really mean that. And I hope that you have fun too. I hope you have your beverage for whatever time of day it is. I have my coffee cup, but there's so much stuff here right now. I'm like, I'm not bringing it in. So I got coffee in my witch mug. So I hope you have a drinking vessel. And that you've got your stitching, and we're just going to sit and chat like a couple of old stitchy friends. So today is October 13th, so Indigenous Peoples Day. So I have off of school. And last week I had 2 days off of school. One was planned, one was not. So last Monday was my husband and our 13th anniversary. So that was really nice. And I took the day off because I have a ton of days and I don't get them back whenever it is that I retire. I'll have even more by that point because I get 10 new sick days every year and a couple of personal days. And I could be out for like half the year, technically. So it's like, I gotta use them anyway. So I took Monday and we went disc golfing in Rochester. So that was nice. And then we went and had dinner at our favorite place, which is Bob Evans, because that's where our very first date was. And had a great server. He was wonderful, had a good dinner. So it was quiet, but it was nice. And actually last weekend I went mountain biking with Phil and Vince on Saturday. I was sore for like 3 days. And then we all went disc golfing on Sunday. Brooke was able to go with us. She was doing a 24-hour animation thing. It's like international apparently. And so it started Friday night and it went through until Saturday night. And there's teams of, I think it's 5, she said, and they make a movie and you have 24 hours to do it. And it's an international competition. So she was doing that. And then on Saturday, like Sunday, it was like, are you alive? Like, did you survive all of that? But that was a pretty cool thing for her. So, but all of that weekend, it was absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful weather. We're in Buffalo, New York. So it was actually still in the 80s, I think, on that. Maybe it was still in the 80s. We've had 80s not too long ago. But it was beautiful weather. The sun has been shining, and I don't know whether I'm just more paying attention to this year or the colors are brighter, but my new grandma hobby, because there's a lady who's got a really funny video including cross stitch as a grandma hobby. It's hilarious. But my new grandma hobby is taking pictures of foliage and then saying the picture doesn't do it justice. So here's a couple pictures from our weekend, but the sky was so blue and the colors were so bright. And I couldn't stop taking pictures. I don't know why. But I did. It was fun. So we had a nice weekend. We had a nice, anniversary. And then Thursday morning, one of my colleagues called at 7:00 and said that there had been a water main break. And so school was canceled because you can't have water, or you can't have classes without water. So that was quite a nice little surprise. And when I texted my work besties, my little group, they were like, "You're joking. Are you serious? Are you serious?" So I was like, yes, we really don't have school. So it was like a bonus day off. And so Phil and I went disc golfing. We went to one of our other favorite places, another beautiful, beautiful day, which was nice because then it was that bonus day. So yesterday, 2 days ago, because now I'm all screwed up again. It was kind of rainy, kind of cloudy. It did clear up in the afternoon, but, and we needed the rain for sure. That's another grandma thing. Standing there with your mug and looking at the rain going, we needed this. Isn't that like, I think it's a meme. But I got to do a ton of FFOing and some sewing and some things that I've been wanting to get done for a while. So it was great. So it was nice to have the bonus day where we could go and do our disc golfing. And then I had a chance this weekend to work on stuff. So I'm going to show you all of that in just a second. I might have to pause and you won't notice the difference, but being that today is Indigenous Peoples Day and we all have the day off, we are taking all of our cars to the mechanic to have oil sprayed on the bottom As I said, we live in Buffalo, New York. They use salt on the roads, and salt, while great to make you not slide, is really bad for your car. So we are spraying them all with oil to keep, one of them is already pretty badly rusted. So we want to kind of head that off at the pass. And then the other ones are like preventative so that we don't have problems with those down the road. So when the 2 cars, we took, you know, all of them but one in, and it's just like, it's like a dance because you can't take them all because you still got to go home. So might have to go pick them up. And, so might have to come back, and then we're going to go disc golfing. It's like what we do. But hey, it's good. It's fun. It's outside. And as Phil says, you know, we spend like 5 months inside in winter. So when we have nice weather, we're going to take advantage of it. So, all right. So let's get to the good stitchy stuff and see what have I been up to. Like I said, I have a ton of FFOing to show you. I'm very excited how things turned out. So I'm going to start with this pumpkin over here because it's in your view. So I'm going to talk about that. So these are, sorry, English teacher, my seed packets from Priscilla and Chelsea. So I took this old jack-o'-lantern that we have, which I just realized on the back I wrote pie because it was a joke because it's pumpkin pie. But an old treat bucket. My kids drew on it. But my original plan was I have this cool galvanized tin bucket, but I use it at Christmas for something. So it's in the bottommost bucket of Christmas decorations. I'm like, I am not pulling that out. And this actually turned out really stinking cute. So let me show you the picks. So I put in a piece of green foam in there. And then stuck in, I had a bunch of picks from probably the Dollar Tree. If I can get one out without totally messing everything up. We'll see. There we go. All right. So I did these all on opalescent desert sand. So it has a little bit of a sparkle to it. Oh, there you can see some of it a little bit. And so I mounted each of them on sticky board, and then I mounted another piece of sticky board for fabric. So I just went through my stash. This one has orange. I did the 2 orange that has like the gingham. I did those orange. The other one is just polka dot, and then I did purple for the other 2. So I'll show those again a little bit. I'm not taking them all out of here because that will fall apart. So we've got the broomcorn, which you had not seen. I finished that one since I saw you last time. Or maybe I did the whole thing. I don't remember. And then the candy corn vine also. So I'd already had the other 2 done. And then the black cat has spider webs. You can kind of see. I'll have to adjust that again and move some of the sticky things out of the way. All right, so I just mounted them. This one's a little wobbly. There's hot glue stuff. I used bamboo skewers and just painted them black because the wood, I was like, no. And then I took 3 or 4 different kinds of ribbon from one of those Halloween bundles that you get at Michael's. There's like a black velvet and the green and orange, and then the purple. I don't know. It's almost like shoelace kind of. Tied those on. They're all different lengths because it just kind of wound up that way. And then used a sticker from my Halloween scrapbooking stash. I have so much scrapbooking stuff. I was like, I need to use this in finishing because it's perfect. So that worked out really cute. And then on the back, I just covered it with a piece of scrapbooking paper and used the same paper for all 4. So those turned out really cute, although this one is lopsided. I might have to put a little dab of glue, but that's when I thought the pumpkin could help hide the glue. So that was really happy with how that turned out. And it sits in our living room. I'm just going to turn around and put it over here. Yeah, that one is definitely lopsided, so I'm going to have to fix that, but that's okay. That's totally fine. All right, so that was those 4 things. And I like doing things when they're all done, and then I can put them all in the set together. So the next one, I stitched this last year, and I'd actually sewn it into a pillow. And then the pillow, it was lopsided. It wasn't straight, so I ripped out, like the front, I had bordered all the way around. And then I was kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of sat and sat. And I looked at it, I was like, that would be a really enormous pillow. And I don't know where I would put an enormous pillow. So I did something else. So this is one of the little houses from Primrose. Now, Nettie did these. Yeah, why do I always think Nellie? It's Nettie. Nettie did these on 10 count, like over. Yeah, it was 10 count. Or was it? I don't know. She did them on like a big one. So I thought that was really cute. So I actually did this. This is on winter stormy night over 3 because I didn't have anything that would work that way. It worked really well. I mean, why not? I think there was only one thing that I had to fudge like and make it over 2 or something instead. But I did it over 3 so it would be nice and big because I thought it was really cute the way that hers turned out. And then I used glow in the dark on the ghosts, although I haven't tested it. It's sitting in the living room now, so I should be able, when I'm going to turn the lights off at night, probably see it. I also did the Thanksgiving one like this too, but that was on a burlap that really is 10 count. So when you do it over 2, it's 20. Is that right? Why is my math escaping me? No, it's 20 count. So it's 10. There we go. That's how that works. Yes. This is why I teach ELA. So, but I liked it like this. So I took a purple pom-pom and edged it all the way around and then used this ribbon across the bottom to make it look like they're in a little pumpkin patch. And then over here, I took a button and covered up. Obviously, there was holes here to hang this. Oh, this was, the house was a Dollar Tree find. It was originally brown. I painted it black when I was painting the skewers. And I took out, they had like twine here. So this, I might try to cover, like put a little something behind it so you can't see. But it's leaning on our TV, which is black, so you can't see it. But I covered up the hole over here with a button, used a little piece of the glow-in-the-dark floss, and put the little spider dude right there. So really happy how this came out. I'm glad I did not make a pillow. So that was a fun one to do. And then I had a couple other Primrose things that I FFO'd. I had the Halloween set from last year. I did 3. I think they came out with 4 or 5 things, but I did 3 of them. So first we have Salem's Sister Stitchery. So this one I did. They're all done on natural linen, which I thought made them like really prim, and I loved it. And I love this fabric because I used it for something for November, but with yellow, it made it just look like fall. Whereas this is clearly more Halloween-y looking, but still primitive. So I just took a black hoop, or a wooden hoop, sorry, painted it black, and then ruched the, I don't know if it's technically even ruching. I ruffled a strip of fabric, cut it 2 inches, ran a really loose stitch down the side. You pull the stitch tight. That's what it looks like on the back, because I'm hanging it on, I have this, it's behind me. It's a wreath stand, so it has a hook on it. So I'm just like hanging this on there. And then this trim was in a pack from Michael's. One of their, it was the fall bundle of ribbons. And I had enough that I could use it on the 3 pieces. Now this one, I didn't want to do it all the way around. I thought that would be too much with the fabric the way it is, but just the little bow at the top is good. So then I also did the Quaker. And so I did a flat finish for that. Did the fabric on the diagonal and ran. It kind of looks like shoelace if you can see it, but it was like the perfect color. So I ran the shoelace around the edge of that. And just did, this is on sticky, and then this I think is on foam core, so it's a little thicker to kind of help it stand up a little bit. And then the alphabet I did into a pillow. So the back is just that. I stitched it together at the bottom and then covered it up. I was going to sew on the trim, but it's very easy to like pull the threads out of the weave. So I hot glued it on. And then I used Chris the Camping Stitcher. I forget. I think she says Vonna does it, but I saw it from Chris. Where if you want to kind of make your pillow nice and flat, you steam it. So I did that, which it worked perfectly. However, it scared me because I did it too close to when I had just... Sorry, that's my husband yelling to my kid. I don't know if you can hear him. He's yelling. So I just put the glue on the top, and then I hit it with the steam, and it actually like melted some of the hot glue. So up here it was dark, and I was like, oh no, but it dried. So I really like how that one turned out too. So the 3 of them for this year, and there's the back again, are going to sit, because I finished them after I'd already decorated for Halloween. So they're going to sit here in the stitchy room. And the house is next to the TV on the console. And the pumpkin is sitting on the floor in front of it. And I am going to do a haunted Halloween, sorry, I'm off center now. I'm going to do a Halloween house tour. Now I'm not, it's going to be, I think I'm going to have to do like a mixture of pictures and video and kind of blend them together, because I live here with 3 other people. So it's not always incredibly tidy clean. So the piles of stuff are going to get moved from one place to the other so I can take a picture. But, I just thought it would be fun. And I'm going to label all of the stitchings because I have quite a lot. So let me pause for 1 second. I'm going to move these things out of the way and get the stuff that I worked on ready. All right, so what have and I worked on the seed packets. The first week of October, they were my something old, and I had one that was partially started, the candy corn vine one was started, finished that up, then I did the witch one, and I had intended on doing the 5th one, but I was like, okay, I'm done for now. So maybe I'll do the other one next year. I did buy 3 of the roundabouts from last year. That was like if the shoe fits, because I thought they're all stitched with the Housewives. Those on the opalescent with the green would be very cute, and I can put them on my tree. So I have 2 years ago, those were the roundabouts, and they're on a purple that I hand dyed, and I used the etoile, and they came out really cute. So this would be, the fabric is sparkly, and the floss is regular, but also my Desert Sand Opalescence is 32 count, so they'd be a little bit smaller. So I have 3 of those. I think I got the Monster Mash, the one with the ghost, and the one with the If the Shoes Fit. So will they get done this year? Probably not, but I still got them anyway because they're cute. All right, so I worked on those. I did finish the first part of, oh wait, that's the Red, White, and True. Hold on. I finished that one in August. Where's the picture? Hold, please. Ah, here's the picture. It was hiding. Okay, so for the 13 for the 250th style for September, this was my goal, was doing the Patriotic Pals. And I had a little kerfuffle. Good old Marilla word, kerfuffle. So when I cut the fabric, I think I meant it to go this way to fit it on. And I didn't stitch it that way. I stitched it this way. So I didn't leave myself very much room at all. So when I realized that I was running out, I left off the bottom part because that's pretty thick. To Celebrate the USA is at least 20 squares high. So I was like, that is never going to fit there. So what I'm going to do is do the Celebrate the USA on a separate piece. So do Celebrate and then the USA and make it like a little square. And my intention was to work on that while I was watching football, which I have not done yet this month. I know Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher, we were doing updates every month, but October just got away from us. We were both super busy that weekend. Her grandson's playing football, so there's a lot of stuff going on. And I think we're going to come back like in January, because I think right now a lot of people have kind of lost the patriotic mojo, because the fall stuff and then the Christmas stuff will be calling our names. So I am going to try to finish that little Celebrate the USA. And then I think for this month, I'm going to do the Primrose freebie, because that was little. And then I'm going to do Pilgrims in November and call it patriotic, because we wouldn't be here without the Pilgrims. So, and then for December, I am absolutely doing a patriotic Santa. So, and then January, I think it'll be good to kind of break it up a little bit and then come back in 2026 and feel like, yes, you know, this is the year and now I'm going to get all this great stuff done. So I did finish up that one little thing, and I will on Sundays. But I had a little witch calling my name this week. Didn't do it. All right. So what else have I worked on? Dream Big from Tiny Modernist is my car stitch. So, you know, when we are going disc golfing or we're going mountain biking and we're driving a little ways to get there, I can work on something in the car if it's on Ada. So I chose to do this one on blue sparkly Ada because I thought the sparkly would be really cool. You can maybe see it. Oh, there you can see a little bit. And so I got most of the orange book done, and I started on the book underneath it, and I just have this little bit of flowers left over here. And then I'll do some of the back stitching, like I'll do a little bit of back stitching, go to a book, and go back and forth. So, and that is probably going to wind up in either my classroom or the big library, because I have a forest theme this year in the library, so that would be perfect, but it also would be pretty cool in my classroom. So I've done a little bit of work on that. But I'm sure, you know, as we're driving places, I'll continue to do that. Then I've been working on the Enchanted Quaker. Now, this is from Luminous Fiber Arts, and I'm doing it on 32 count Spooky Stormy Night, and I'm using Witch's Brew from Color and Cotton, which is this beautiful deep purple. So the thing is, though, when I bought the floss originally, I bought it for something else, and I only bought 3 skeins. So I knew I was going to run out and knew I needed more. So I did order more. So, and there's a slight difference. I don't even know if you can tell. Oh yeah, this one's a little bit darker. That's the original color, and then this is what I ordered. And I ordered 2 of them to come in. So I had 5 skeins total, and I should be fine. Now the thing is that when you, sure there's a difference right now, but when you pull it off and you're only using 2 strands, there's really didn't seem like there was terribly much of a difference. The newer one maybe be slightly more variegated. So, but my plan was to do each motif and not mix the floss within the motif. If 2 motifs sitting next to each other are slightly different, that's totally fine. So, now my goal, I did get a good bit of this one done because I think this is the one that I can actually finish this October of all of my big Halloween projects, because I have several. And I am intending on doing something again next year where, you know, this year I did the little something sale where every week, like, there was something old for the first week, new for the second week, festive for the third week, and boo for the 4th week. That's how I finished the Primrose, because I don't think I had any of them done. I started all of them last October, but finished all of them in like February and March because I was doing the week of boo. And then the Enchanted Quaker I worked on, but also because it was one color, I left it next to my nightstand so I would pick it up and work on it. So I got the moon done. I started on Nevermore with the raven, started on the cauldron, got part of the other word done here. So this is all the new one. This is the old. This is new. I think that one's old. So I'm kind of mixing them as I go over to the side. So I think that's coming along. I think I can actually finish it. Maybe. We shall see. But I really enjoy working on it. It's a beautiful piece. And I think what, you know, a really cool, like, black ornate frame would be really cool for that too. All right. So another piece that I worked on. Sorry, looking at the side of my head. I need a table here too, but that's just not going to happen. Oh, my light just changed drastically. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, I started Be Ye Thankful. I had a rotten day at work. It's all cleared up now, but I was just kind of miffed at work. And I decided to get myself some happy when I got home. And I had won this from Jessica, Sweetwater Stitcher. So when I got home, I pulled out, I had a piece of 40 count fabric that was already cut from another project. And I did my own color conversion using stuff from my stash. And I worked on it a little bit this week because now I'm using some of those flosses for another piece. So here we go. Oh, and I think I didn't put it in the notes last time, but I did mention what all of the colors were. So this is a blue, deep blue sea. I think it's deep blue sea instead of like a foam, like a sea foamy greeny blue. But I think that's coming along very nicely. And my colors just, or my light just went crazy. But that's coming along nicely as well. So I worked on that, and it was funny because I was working on it one night, and we always sit together while we're watching TV, and my husband goes, "That's not what you were working on yesterday." And I was like, "I know." I wanted to work on this one. So, and then I started something yesterday because it's the third week. Ooh, as I drop stuff. It's the third week of October. So no, it's the second week. Oh my goodness, what am I talking about? The second full week of October. So that means it's something new. And do I need to really start new stuff now? Do I want to? So I have been eyeing this one for a while from Quaker and Punkin. So let me pull up the picture because her patterns are free. So you want something cute and quick to stitch up, go to Quaker and Punkin. I think one of the things I want to do next year is figure out part of my little rhyme or whatever to do the salt boxes, because I love her salt boxes. And she has so many cute fall ones to have like a little bowl with all the little fall salt boxes. I would just absolutely love that. So this is pumpkin stew. And I thought, how stinking cute is she? Very prim and just adorable. So I decided to, she has everything always done in DMC. I don't think she ever has anything with weeks or something like that. But, so I decided to do my own color conversion. So we have Blackbird for the dress, and then Pea Pod for the ground, Sweet Potato, which is my favorite color, thanks to Primrose, for the pumpkins. I'm going to use Sassy Brass. This is not a Sassy Brass tag, but I lost it, so I wrote it on here. I'm going to use that for the moon. And then I have Whiskey for the broom and the stars. And those are different because she did kind of like a gray color and I think a green moon. So I was like, nope, I'm going to use something else. Thunderbird. No. Thundercloud, sorry, for the gray in her apron. I'm going to use Black Coffee for the cauldron because that is definitely more gray. The Blackbird is like a much richer black. Mossy for the vines and stuff like that. I have Wagon Wheel for like the stem and the broom and stuff like that. And then I did use a couple DMCs for like her skin. And then I'm doing Wisteria for her hair. So I was like, she needs to have purple hair. So started it yesterday. And I gave her a smile too. I usually give my witches smiles if they don't have one. So I started that yesterday and she's so stinking cute. I think it's going to be adorable. And very quick because that's like, she's one of the biggest things. So if she's almost done, then the other big thing is the pumpkin and the cauldron, and then it's not very much. So I hope to have her done in the next couple of days. So very fun. And I'm really digging doing my own color conversions. It's really fun to do. And my big thing, like I have all this floss, you buy it for something, use a little bit of it. Why? And I want to use it. I don't want to just have a stash that's so big that I'm never going to use everything. So the fact that I'm using Wagon Wheel up, great. Then it's done its purpose. So I don't want to just, I'm looking at it because my floss is over my door. I want to use it up. So, and it's kind of fun to do your own colorway. I really liked that. All right, so that's what I've been stitching. I didn't really work on the little pumpkin quilt shop, but I'm probably going to pick that one up next week again. Or maybe I really do want to finish the Enchanted Quaker, because I really think I can. So I would like to get that one finished for this year. But I did some quilting yesterday. So I have them sitting on my chair behind me. I have to stand up for this one to show it a little bit more. So last year, so we do Secret Boo at school. We don't do Secret Santa. We started doing Secret Boo a couple years ago. Oh my gosh, I think maybe even 3 or 4 years ago. This is at least the third year. But we decided to do Secret Boo because Christmas is so crazy at school. We're a Catholic school. We've got a lot of extra prayer services, and there's all this stuff going on with your prayer partners, and there's a lot. We do a lot. So we thought it would be fun to do something more still festive, but in a time that's not quite as busy. So last year, my Secret Boo was one of my very best friends at school. She's like a sister. Just love her so much. So the first week, I got her some alcoholic beverages, like her favorite kind. And then the second week, I got her I don't know if it was 1 or 2, but those little, the birds from Target. I love the little birds from Target. I have like bags of the birds from Target. And then there's knockoffs at other places. And then I was going to give her a table runner because I already had the top pieced and I just had to quilt it. Well, last year in October, we went to our nephew's wedding in Wisconsin, and he and his wife had their wedding in October. So I was making them a Halloween quilt, which turned out to be a monster because things didn't line up right. And so I had to add stuff, and it was enormous. Quilting it was not fun. But so I was working on that through the month of October, trying to get it done. Didn't get it done until the spring anyway. And then we got home from the wedding and I had pneumonia. So I missed the last week of school before, and I missed Halloween. I missed Halloween. It was terrible. So I never got Nina's table runner done. So I did. I finished it up. So let me stand up here. So it's just a bunch of strips sewn together. Get a chair out of the way there. So just a bunch of things from my very large Halloween stash. I have these fabrics are all in a quilt that I made that years ago. That's Log Cabin. And I had all the strips left because I cut all the strips for Log Cabin. And then it's just got polka dots. And she loves Snoopy. So I happen to have this awesome Snoopy fabric in my stash. So I quilted that up yesterday and super excited to go give it to her tomorrow and be like, do you remember when I was your Secret Boo? Oh yeah, I'm wearing my Hocus Pocus shirt today. And I never gave you your last present. So I also had and these I forgot that I had them until I moved everything into this room 2 years ago. I moved all the fabric in here. And I was using it as my craft space, but last year's one, it's like the shelving came up and it got painted and everything. But when I moved all the fabric up, I found the table runner and this little table mat. So this one is 4 log cabins put together to make the diamond shape. I love log cabins because you can do so many cool things with it. So this one, I quilted around each of the log cabins. I just have to put the binding on it still. So I'm hoping to do that today. And I'm going to give that to this year's Secret Boo, who I can't tell you who it is. I have to get this week figured out, but this is what I'm going to give her for her last present. She's pretty awesome too. So, so that's what I worked on, this weekend. I did all of that FFOing and the quilting, which was nice. And I felt like itchy nose. What is it about Flosstube and the itchy nose? So my walking foot, I was worried it was broken because the little flat piece that's the very bottom, that the thing that walks, the last part of the foot, kept falling off. It's not glued in there. It is on a release, so it can snap off if something happens. Which I have had, the bobbin get stuck and things pull out, and so. But it was falling off all the time. It was falling off and it was getting jammed and snapping off needles, and it was driving me. I was like, this is not good. It's broken. Nope, it's not broken. It just had a screw loose. Tighten the screw. No problem. was like, I was like, oh, look, I have a screw loose. My husband was like, yeah, yes, you do. You do. All right. So that's what I've been working on. So I do have a little bit of haul. So when I ordered the Witch's Brew, I needed 2 skeins of it. I figured I would be safe with 2 skeins. I'd have plenty, but I couldn't just order 2 skeins from Color and Cotton. So I also ordered their Halloween, the traditional Halloween pack. So look how cute. It came on a little ring. So I thought that was adorable. So it's so pretty. So we have Hallows Eve, Featherweight, Jingle Bell, Purple People Eater, love that, and Goosebumps. And I was like, those colors are just so gorgeous. And I was like, what am I going to use them for? So I had a couple ideas because I have some of Emily Call's super cute little witches. And I was like, that would work for... I'd have to do a lot of color conversion, I think. But I think it could work for the Join Me for a Spell. So I'd have to add in a couple other colors, but I think it could work. So that might be one. But then I was looking at, I have the booklet from Primrose. That's probably better, huh? 13 Spooky Smalls. So I've already done the Wicked Without Coffee. And I used the Etoile on Vintage Country Mocha. But I can use it for this one. I just need a gray, which could probably be black coffee because it's actually gray when you look next to a really black one. My Broom Runs on... Or no, wait. That's the Hocus Pocus Broom Co. There's the Witch's Brew. There's... Let me see if I can show you without it showing patterns. My Broom Runs on Coffee. How awesome will that be? That one doesn't even have any orange in it, really. It just has a little bit in the hat. There's... So I think the Halloween Basket, My Broom Runs on Coffee, the Witch's Brew, the Hocus Pocus Broom Co., and then there's also... Hold on, I'm getting there. Sorry, I don't want to flash. Don't want to flash you. The Come We Fly from Hocus Pocus with the broom, the vacuum cleaner, and the mop. So I was like, that will be awesome. I can use all of those beautiful colors and they'll work so nicely for all of the Primrose stuff. And I have some I can use Vintage Country Mocha. I've got the Stormy Night, and I have a little bit more of some of the stuff that I hand dyed. And this one, for some reason, I don't know why, but there's like splotches in it. I mean, I used black dye, but there's like purple and orange, like dots in it. So I'm like, that could be kind of cool because then it'll look really Halloween-y. So that will be fun to use all of those. All right. And then I did get a couple things. I ordered a few things too. Oops. So let me pull up. Wait, not those. That's... Hold on. Oh. There we go. So... I ordered this because it was so stinking cute. This is Stitch with Coffee, and she's been doing the series of Black Cat, like one for each month. And she has one that's spooky, but when I saw that with the books and the coffee and everything, I was like, yes, please. So that would also be very cute on maybe pewter. That would be really cute there. But just so cute, I couldn't stand it. And then I was thinking about Thanksgiving. I have my cute little Thanksgiving tree over here behind, or tree, which I'll leave the orange lights on it for Thanksgiving. And, but it's so hard to find like Thanksgiving ornaments. So I went in search of some. And I found Threading Our Journey. It's a husband and wife team. They've been on Etsy for since 2020. And they had a bunch that were really cute. So I thought these, even in the hoops, and maybe I'll paint the hoops brown, orange, and yellow. I have a set of paints that I bought at Hobby Lobby that like came together. That would be really nice. So there was Gratitude with this cute little heart. And then this came in a set that says Fall Sweet Fall. There's the little deer and the house. That looks so cozy. And I was thinking I might do them on like a, oh, what's that Ada? Looking at my fabric. There's an Ada that has like flecks in it already. It's escaping me. I'll have to look in a second. And then the cute little truck with the pumpkins. So I got those all on Etsy, and that was from, those are Threading Our Journey, and then the other one is Stitch with Coffee. And super, super cute things on both of their websites. And I did say that I also had ordered If the Shoe Fits. And I got the Monster Mash and Spooky Season. So, don't know whether I'll finish any of those this year, but that's okay. So that was my haul. That was it. Now it's going to bug me. Hold on. I got to look, or it's going to, like, what's the name of that fabric? It's going to kill me if I don't look. Hold on one second. Okay, so I can't find the name of it, but it's this stuff that has like the flecks in it. Oh, it's gonna, I'll remember it at like 3 o'clock this afternoon. But I thought that would be good for that. Kind of like an oatmeal-y look to it. And just in little hoops. And whip them up real quick and put them on my tree. So, all right. So that's it for all my stitchy stuff and quilting. Oh, except for plans. Plans. Silly me. I was going to jump right to books. Plans. So, this is the second full week of October, so it's something new. So I am going to work on my cute little pumpkin stew. And then maybe start one of the other ones from the 13 Spooky Smalls, because I want to use that color in cotton so bad. I will continue to also work on Enchanted Quaker, because I do think that I can possibly finish that for this year. And then the last week of October is probably when I'm going to switch and start doing those little Thanksgiving things. I have some pilgrims that I'd like to do. I definitely want to finish the Be Thankful as well and have that, because I'm hosting Bunko for the first Friday in November. So I do want to have a couple of those fall things done. I do have some fall things already out when you see the Halloween house tour. On top of my 2 6-foot bookcases, which normally is where I put all my witches. This year I just put fall stuff up there because then I don't have to change it. It'll stay for both months. And it really looks lovely. So I'll switch out. I have October calendar month. Obviously, I'll switch it out for the November. But I have Welcome Home Fall up there, and a couple other little fall pieces. It's like all stitching with the Housewives. So I'll try to get some of the Be Thankful and those little rounds for my tree. So those are my plans. I do also have some quilty things I want to do. So, let's see. This is one of my favorite books ever. The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt. And this is by Riela Nason, illustrated by Byron Eggenschweiler. So the basic idea is that he is not a sheet like everybody else in his family. He is a quilt. And so because he's a quilt and he's heavier, he can't fly as fast. He can't swoop and swirl and do things that the other ghosts can do. And some of the other ghosts are not always so nice. They will leave him behind, like when people are coming along. And where's the part? They call him like Patches or Scraps or something. Scrappy. They call him Scrappy, and he doesn't like it. So here's a picture of him sitting at the piano. And the pictures are gorgeous because it's all this sepia tone. So, you can see he had an ancestor who was a checkered tablecloth and a grandmother who was a checkered curtain and a lace tablecloth. And she was supposed to be the most beautiful ghost anybody had seen. But he's a quilt and he doesn't really like it. So they have all these beautiful illustrations where he is white and blue and a little kid dropped ice cream on him, which is why he's orange. But when we get to Halloween, they add the orange in as well. So it's really sepia and then orange, and the little girl is the only thing that's pink in the story. And the little quilt is over on the railing because he couldn't get away fast enough when the people came. He was trying to see what was going on, and he couldn't get away. So the mom thinks he's a quilt, picks him up, and wraps him around the little girl in their wagon. So he gets to go home with them. So there they are inside their house. And he gets to have an adventure inside with her. And she's picking out all of her candy. And then the mom picks him up and traces his stitches. You can see his little smile. A little blush there. And then after everybody goes to bed, he flies up out the chimney. And all of his friends are like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Tell us everything. And so now he realizes that if he hadn't been a quilt, like that never would have happened. So being different is okay. So, and there's actually a new one coming out for Christmas. So he's going to have a Christmas adventure. So I have wanted for a while to make a quilt, and I've seen people do it, where they made a quilt and put the little eyes on it and like put it over a little ghosty stand so they had a quilt. So I'm going to do that. So I went through my stash yesterday and I picked out everything I have that's blue and white. So I have a couple things that have to be washed, but I have like things with stars, things with flowers, and all sorts of stuff that's going to work very nicely. I like that one with swirls on it. That one has stars. One of them might have snowflakes, but I'm like, so what? It's a blue and white quilt. Hold on. Now, my problem is I cannot do scrappy. I can't. I don't know what it is. I don't really have OCD. Like, people throw that out there, and it's a real thing people really do have. But I think there's some things that I am OCD about. So just choosing random fabrics, I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is kind of use the end papers. It came with a sticker. I'm going to use the end papers as a guide so I can do kind of like his pattern and do this like 2 or 3 times. Now, I think I'm going to do, because his squares are they're not super small. So I think I'm going to do 3.5-inch squares. So then they'll be 3 inches when you sew them together. I don't want them to be too big for the little ghosty, but I also don't want to spend, if they were 2-inch squares, that would be quite a lot longer. I did get one of those little freestanding ghosts from Michael's. It was $60 originally, and then it was 60% off, and then I had a coupon and like a voucher and my teacher discount. So I think in reality, I paid like $18 for it. And I got the white one with the pink bow because then I can pull the pink bow off. And then that'll be my little form to hold the ghost. So I'm hoping to do that in the next week. I think that'll be fun. And then also, I would love to make a quilt of just, and I don't know, again, I don't know how to be just scrappy random, but I have a whole bunch of really pretty pink and orange and like light purple, that kind of stuff. So I want to do like a just little Halloween throw and just have it be squares, nothing fancy. I thought about doing a rag quilt because I have so much batting that is just like strips of batting left over from big pieces. And I was like, I've got to do a rag quilt at some point and use all that stuff up because some of it's even too small. I did find a piece I could use for these, but a lot of them are too skinny even for that. So, but I think a Christmas rag quilt is what I'm going to be doing. We'll see. But I have this fabric for the back. So I got to toss that in the wash today too, because I don't think it's... I usually wash everything when I get it, but I don't think I ever wash this. But it won't hurt to make sure. So I'm going to throw that in. I usually throw my fabric in with the towels, because that's not going to be a whole load. And then there's a couple, like this one and this one. I love this one to be my little ghosty. And this one's super pretty too. So I'm going to wash those things when we do towels, and then those will be for my little ghost, and perhaps a new Halloween blanket. Not like I didn't just buy one at Sam's Club with ghosts on it, but I really want to use up my fabric because it's pretty. So I want to see it, and not just in my cupboard. The Christmas one though, I have like all this really great candy with like the pinks and the turquoise colors, or like the blues, but I have a project that needs to be done first, and then I can make myself a rag quilt, because I have a giant scrapbooking container under the table over here. I call it the Beast. It's like this. I can't even fit it on screen. It is probably 3 feet wide and 2 feet deep and 1.5 feet across. It's huge. And I don't know what I was thinking to load that sucker up when I went to crops when I was scrapbooking. It was like, you need help to carry it up the stairs. But I filled it with all of my batting, and that's great because it's a good spot to keep all of it. It's full, and there's even batting overflowing, but none of it's like really big pieces. So, and I figure if I'm doing a rag quilt, you're cutting all of them, you're cutting all the pieces into, 6-inch squares or whatever you're going to do it as. And then I don't think it really even matters much if you're mixing what kind of batting, because now that we don't have Joann's, I can't get that stuff that I liked anymore. Actually, the last time I got batting, I did get it at Walmart, their natural one, and it was pretty good. So that's probably going to have to be my go-to. All right, so that really is everything cross-stitching and quilting and all of what I've been doing and what I want to do. So now is the book portion. So if you're not a reader, thanks for sticking with me for like almost an hour. I so appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks. I hope to be back before October is over. All right, but I do have a couple books that I read, so I wanted to share those with you. And they were all on my Kindle, so I got to pull up their pictures. If I can get the picture to show. All right, so the first one I read, because I'm totally into fall reading right now, is There's Pumpkin About You by Athena Carstairs. So I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be in England because the guy had to go to physio instead of, going to physical therapy. So it's August, and I forget the girl's name. I forgot her name. She's an event planner and trying to do her own business, and is wanting to plan this really great birthday party for her best friend, and she wants to use August's farm. And he has autism. He's on the spectrum. So a lot of their first meeting, I think, was her just not understanding him and, communication being like one of the biggest issues. But they do wind up having a really great party, and it was good. I enjoyed it. There is some spice, so none of these books are appropriate if any of my students are still watching. If any of them are, don't read these. Like, for a long time. All right, so this one, The Autumn Leaf Bookshop by Kay Michaels. If I had to do stars for books, I would say the other one probably got like a 4. It was pretty good. This one, I liked the characters. I liked the setting. There were like magical creatures. It was this cute little town, regular humans, magical creatures, all living together. No explanation, just that's the way things are. And I was like, that's lovely. That's the way things should be for everything. And I liked the characters, and it was one of those where you could see how, how sometimes an author will have a town And one book is about this couple, and then the next book is about another couple, but they're all, like, the townspeople because they're all still in the books. I looked to see if this one, if she had more, to see like, oh, are those two going to get a book? Like, are they going to wind up together? So they weren't horrible, but the thing about this one was the spicy stuff. I felt almost like she put it in there because she felt like she had to. It didn't really advance the plot. It didn't, like, there was a couple things that were like booty calls. And I was like, eh. And then some things, like what you say, should be left to the imagination, because otherwise it's cringy. It's kind of cringy. For me. Somebody else might totally like it. I really liked the characters. The main male character was like hot fae guy. He doesn't have bat wings, but he's still not bad. I mean, you gotta have bat wings. Chris the camping stitcher, you know what I'm talking about. And the main female character was human. She's a writer. She came home to help out her grandmother after having hip surgery and helped out with the Harvest Festival in town. So I liked it. It was just that part was like, didn't really love it. So I don't know, like a 3 minus? 3, like a 4 for the characters in the setting. And like a 2, 1.5 for the spicy stuff. So, then the one I just finished yesterday was the Honeycrisp Orchard Inn. This one, everything was better. Like, even the spicy stuff, because they left some of that to your imagination. If you get what I'm saying. I don't know. I just liked this one too. So, this one is, main character is an event planner, gets fired and dumped all on the same day, goes home to help out at her, goes home to her parents' house. She hasn't been home a lot lately because the boyfriend, who is a jerk, obviously, didn't like the town. And so she hasn't been around much in the past couple of years, realizes how much she missed her parents and the farm isn't doing as well. And what can she do to help with it? And so there's all the funness of the setting up the Harvest Festival. And of course, like reconnecting with your high school sweetheart or your high school best friend who should have been your sweetheart. One of those. So I did like this one much more. And that's Honeycrisp Orchard Inn, Valerie Bowman. And all 3 of those, I'm pretty sure, were all on Kindle Unlimited. So then I started a new one today. And I was like, I got to start a mystery because I read 3. Or I don't know that this one's even a mystery. I started a mystery. And it was not good. I did not like it. I don't want to even say the name because I really didn't like it. And I actually bought it. I was like, thank goodness I only spent $1 because very repetitive. And I just read like the first 20 pages. Did not like it. So I was like, nope, life is too short to read books you don't like. So then I picked up this one, which is also, this is Kindle Unlimited, The Next Chapter, Bookshop by Brooke Sky. And so when we took the cars in, I got there first. And so I was sitting in the parking lot waiting and reading, and I read like 20 pages and I'm like, nah, don't like it. So I flipped to this one. This one is a series. I think there's a couple other ones. At least 2 or 3 others in that series. Here, I can pull that up really quickly. Seems to be, I only read like a few pages that one. I did not really get very far because then we were moving cars. But it's kind of funny because when you think about, like, even this and Hallmark movies, it's always, working in the big city stinks, go home to your small town. Working for corporate is terrible, go home. What does that say about working for corporate? So Leafwood Falls is the series. And there's 4 books. So let's see. We've got The Next Chapter, The Copper Kettle Cafe is number 2. And then there's The Midnight Reader, a heartwarming cozy mystery with a touch of magic. And The Tiger's Tale. So that one, a book about second chances and romance with a touch of magic. Love that. I think I told you I read The Cinnamon Spice In by Harper Graham. That was a good one. And then this one is Love and Lattes at Pumpkin Hollow is also on my list of things to read. I've got a lot. Boy, do I have a lot. Ghost at the Garden Gate looked like a pretty good one, and there's a couple others. And Kathy Daly, who's a favorite of mine. Sorry, I'm looking down here. So there's the Ghost at the Garden Gate. Gonna be reading that one. Whispering Lake Books. That's a series. Bake Shop at Holiday Bay. Kathy Daly. The Holiday Bay is a town in Maine. The first one is The Inn. There's like 30 of those. And then there's the Bake Shop is new, but there's a bookshop. There's a bistro. And there's like a rescue, like a pet rescue. So several of the other, like characters who pop in at Holiday Bay, and then some of them actually stayed there even, and then wind up getting their own series. So I wanted to see that one. But there's so much stuff, like the Pumpkin Hollow one, Pumpkin Spice Spell. There's Steeped in Mystery. That's one that I want to read. The Baby Dragon Cafe. Like, how could you not read that? That sounds like fun. So I'll let you know. And speaking of Hallmark movies, I watched Haul Out the Halloween this weekend. I think it premiered Friday night. And it's Lacey Chabert. I forget the guy's name, but Lacey, she's awesome. And they have two other movies. There's Haul Out the Holly, because that's her name, I think. And then there's Haul Out the Holly Lit, like the second one, where their street is Evergreen Lane. They're in a cul-de-sac, and they have these crazy HOA rules. But it's just cute in the going out all out decorating. So they did a Halloween one, and it was super cute. And it's funny because Kimberly Brown, who's from Halloween Town, the Disney movie Halloween Town that we all remember and love with Princess Leia's mom, Debbie Reynolds, she was in it, it was like, I know her. That's kind of funny. So that was really good. And I would highly recommend, because this coming weekend is when they start on Christmas movies already. So I was thinking I want to have a watch party for the Bills one to see if we can find me, because I was in the stadium scene. So, but all right. So that's everything. My husband popped his head in a minute ago and said, we got to go soon. I think the cars are going to be done. So I hope you are well. I hope you have lots of good stitchy stuff. I hope you have lots of good things to read. Oh, one final thing. If you haven't found them already, if you're reading your fun Halloween stuff, or even stitching, I don't know, you could probably do all three, actually. You could like listen to an audiobook or watch your floss tubes. But the YouTube ambiance, if you've ever seen these, it's so much fun. I put them on in school, even like when my kids are taking their quiz and then reading silently afterwards. So it's like a scene, and then it has jazz music that goes, or any kind of music that you want. And so much fun. So much fun. So I highly recommend going to YouTube, put in like Halloween cozy ambiance, and you'll have all these different scenes to choose from that you can just put on and have like nice music in the background, and this like cute little scene, whether it's spooky Halloween or a little cafe, and you can see like the steam rise on the coffee and stuff. It's fun. It's very fun. I can just imagine all the Christmas ones that'll be coming out. So, all right, I'm really done now. It's the Wisconsin goodbye or the Minnesota goodbye or whatever Julie and Catherine do, is like the Minnesota goodbye. It takes forever. So I'll see you next time. Happy stitching.